Hi everyone, this is Dave from Geekanoids, and in this video I want to talk to you about working from home. Now, being self-employed and either working from home or from a small office is not as easy as it may sound. There is a lot of planning to do and a lot of different things to consider. Now, first of all, I just want to touch very briefly on working from a small office. So maybe you don't want to fill your home with office type things. Maybe it's just not practical to work actually from your lounge or a bedroom or a small room within your house. So you want to sort of separate it out into a small office. Now, working from a small office is great, but it does come with it a lot of expenses that you may overlook. So consider it very carefully before actually making that decision. If you work from a small office, you've obviously got the things like deposit on the office, the monthly rent on an office, the actual commitment to renting that office, because sometimes you have to commit to either 3 months or 6 months or 12 months. And if you commit to a 12-month contract and then after 3 months you either change your mind or can't afford it, you still have to pay that 12 months of rent. And then you've got things like insurance. You've got insurance on the actual contents of the office. You've got public liability insurance for if somebody like a member of the public comes to visit you, you need to insure them against injury. And then you've got things like electricity. You might have water. You might have rubbish or refuse collection. And then you might have things like sort of extra security measures that you have to pay for within the office. So really a lot to consider before making that move. So let's shift things back to the actual subject of this video, and that is working from home. Now, there are lots of pros and cons to working from home. Let's cover off some of the pros. First of all, it's very nearby, so you don't have to travel. You don't have to get into your car every morning. You don't have to sit in traffic queues. You don't have petrol expenses. You are working from home. So when you get up in the morning and you've had your breakfast, you are at work. So that's a big pro. If you have children, it also can make it easier with childcare and with getting children to and from school, because you're working from home, so you can take them to school before you start work. And then if you're working on something and it comes to picking up time, you can pick up your children. Not so easy working from home if you have to look after children, because that can be very distracting. And then you've got things like it being more comfortable and definitely less expense. You haven't got any overheads with regards to rent. You have still got expenses, but you haven't got business rent, business rates, and all the things I discussed about if you get a small office. Now, there are plenty of cons. There are too many for me to cover in this video, but the main ones that spring to mind are that you're surrounded by your work all the time, so it can be difficult to switch off and differentiate between work mode and home mode, because you do need a social life, you need family time as well, and if you're in the same environment, not in a separate room, then your work life can overspill into your personal life. So that's a big consideration. Also, it can overtake your home. If you use a lot of different equipment, maybe you're using specialised equipment for your work, then that can take up a lot of space in your home. So again, it's nice to be able to dedicate a certain area to your self-employed business if you're working within your sort of family home to do it. There's also things to consider like security and insurance, and they sort of come hand in hand. But security is very important, because if you're using expensive equipment, like for example, I use a lot of camera equipment, it's very important you have very secure locks on your external doors and windows. It's also worth considering maybe a security camera solution and an alarm as well. Some of those you might even need if you're looking to get business insurance. Now, business insurance is obviously very important as well, because if you own a house, you normally have buildings insurance and contents insurance, but that's for your personal possessions. Now, some contents insurance policies do cover you for if you work from home, so it's well worth asking your insurance company. But if you do need business insurance, then make sure you get the right type of insurance for what you are actually doing. There are so many clauses within these policies that it's best to ask all of your questions up front from your insurance agent to make sure you're definitely covered. In a recent string of phone calls that I made about my own insurance, I found that with a business insurance policy, I needed two separate policies. One for office supplies, and that's things like desking, chairs, desktop computers, monitors, but a separate policy for things that could actually be classed as mobile products. Things like laptops, mobile phones, tablets weren't covered on the main business insurance. So do check that out. Now, there are so many other things you should consider when working from home, but I hope I've given you some sort of insight into the pros and cons of working from home. And I do hope that if you do decide to take that step, that you fully investigate and research it before you do it, because it is very important. It will have a big impact on both your income and your personal life as well. So do research it thoroughly before you take that step. Now, I have also recorded an extended length version of this video where I discuss the pros and cons of being self-employed in more detail, and also include some time management tips as well. Now, if you want to watch this extended length version of the video, please do support me on davidcrier.uk. There is a link to that in the video description. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, as always, please do hit that like button, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to see another video of mine, please do click the annotation on the top of your screen now, and also you can click the annotation on the bottom of your screen and subscribe to the Geekanoids channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all again next time.